All right, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, man. First and foremost, hopefully the Most High in your house shall blessing your day. By His mercies, you are consumed. We're live in the Most High in your house shall's body, and two, we're naturally live, man. I want to grab this real quick, man, because you know, as a matter of fact, no, I'll just grab this because I'll talk about that another day, probably Lord willing tomorrow on the tomorrow, but. Cause yeah, I was thinking about, but yeah, man, this is kind of going to like a misconception, man. Cause like, no, especially like cause when we hear certain words, man, like it's gotta realize like it meant something different, like in the Hebrew or something like that. But honestly, man, when the words talk about like perfect, man, like honestly, cause like a lot of times like the brother somebody first one said, people just don't want a standard, honestly, and don't want to meet that standard. Like, so, we equate to like perfect as in like not having flaws, especially in the Most High Yahushua's eyes. But that really perfect means like when Yahushua said, Most High Yahushua said, be perfect, and even he says it in the law of Leviticus, be ye holy as I'm holy, and Peter says it, then Yahushua says, be perfect. It's really just talking about like somebody like David had to keep your integrity, have integrity, honestly, man. Like especially according to the Most High House standard, and believe too, because somebody can have integrity, not believe, but have believe and have integrity. But if you that's just is what it is, honestly. So. And we're gonna get into why that's the case, man. Because a lot of times too, people say that like you can't be perfect, and that's not like the case, honestly, man. Because because the Most High House I said different, man. Also, they're really talking about just keeping your integrity. It's not really nothing like too much about that, man. But this too. It's like because like honestly, like shout out to brother send me first one because he puts it better than I can. He words it better. It's like, listen, you wouldn't tell nobody that you're a drug addict or a criminal with things and that you, especially when you've never been never been to jail or prison before, or like or you never did drugs before or anything like that. So why shouldn't somebody tell you that tell you that you can just be a sinner and that's it, and you can't be perfect? Honestly, that's like, because this too. It's like the classics like the saying in the world, man. I remember Jay-Z like in his Breakfast Club 2013 the interview saying this also too. The sister, I forgot her sister's name too. She always in those the Tyler Perry movies. Dark skin sister is very beautiful, but the loud one, like the one that looks like the rapper. What's her name? Cash Doll. That looks like her. I forget her name though. But yeah, if y'all, I seen a pic. I'm looking at her and I can see her face, but I just don't know her name. Honestly, I think she does. She directs some of the episodes in BMF. But like she said, honestly, a lot of times. Like like she said, and I remember Jay-Z saying this in an interview. A lot of times people project their own fears onto you, man. So they feel like only they can't do certain things, so they're gonna project down onto you. Now there's a bounce to that because you gotta have loved ones or people that care about you, even somebody that can just trying to give you like even a viewpoint or like tell you like listen, like hey, listen, you might want to be careful of this and this because this and this happened because they went through experience, or they just had that wisdom, like listen, this or things to consider. But a lot of times too, there could be on the other hand people that project their fears on you. So that's why when people say, oh, you can't be nothing but a sinner or you never be perfect, that's just not the case. But we're gonna get into this right now. But let's get Matthew chapter I'm sorry. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 5. It says, "The righteousness of the perfect, yeah, the faithfulness of the perfect shall direct his way." And that way is what Yahushua, man, honestly. But the wicked shall fall by their own wickedness. Exactly. So let's get this Matthew 5 real quick, man. But the notice how I said the perfect, man, the righteousness of perfect. What's that? The righteousness, the faith. In Genesis 15, that Galatians 2 and 21, the faith in the Most High Yahushua, that righteousness, man. But let's get Matthew chapter 5 verse 48. It says, "But therefore be therefore perfect as your Father in heaven, which is perfect." Exactly, man. So it says, no, it says, let's go back. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. Let's go 2 verses above. The integrity of the upright. See, notice how it's all in the same chapter. So it's like it's kind of giving the context of it's perfect having like integrity. It says the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. So see, exactly. So let's go to Genesis 20 real quick, man. So That's what it is. Because a lot of times too, like there's only like we talk about this all the time. There's only one person I can read about, like in His Word we could really read about. Just for me personally, I can read about like the Most High house that stopped them sinning. Man, that was Abimelech in Genesis 20. Like because notice how, but notice what it said he had. He said he had integrity, honestly, which much because he know that was his intent to do what he did, man. To so. And that's what it is. Because a lot of times people say, well, the Most High, because our people are good for this, or people is good for this, especially our people. Well, the Most High house already knew what we were gonna do for before he did it. So technically, that's not our fault. Like, no, see, one, you're inaccountable. One, two, somebody like with integrity, something like that wouldn't say that. Like, so that's why, like, you're just, that's an unaccountable person. Also, too, that's Sirach 15. Like, don't say what, like, when you do something, like, blame the Most High house shot for it. No, it's your fault, honestly. So, like, honestly, it's even our people, it's our fault, too, because that's a lot of times our people do. Where was the Most High house shot? Where was God during slavery and this and that? No, he was on his throne where he should be. He totally gave us a warning, and we didn't adhere to it. So, like, it is even through our history, like, so this just is what it is. And like Brooke said, man, it's the same God that well, one, we put ourselves in slavery. The one the same God that like gave us his punishment can get us out of this, so at the end this is what it is, man. But let's get this Genesis chapter 20 verse 6. It says, and Yahweh said unto him in a dream, yea, I know thou didst in the integrity of thy heart. I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore I suffered thee not to touch her. So see, notice this is like the only time Most High Yahweh shall stop somebody from sinning against him. Because but knows what Abimelech had, like he had integrity, man. And that's what that is, to be perfect, man. So that's when he was perfect. He had an integrity. And that's what that means. So like, yeah, so when being perfect, man, it means to have integrity. One, faith and a good character and integrity, man. Because like like DMX said, like X said, there's a difference between doing wrong and being wrong, man. Because David did wrong, but he wasn't wrong. And that's just is what it is, man. That's really, honestly, when we see certain men that like made some mistakes, certain people in this word that made mistakes, man. It's just like it's for our learning. Also, too, they just did wrong. They weren't wrong, man. Honestly, so they still had their integrity. Honestly, that's why they was looking the Most High Yahweh's eyes as perfect, man. That's why Peter was still looked at as perfect, man. And or he made the he was made like in David, and also all these other righteous people, man. So hopefully it's edifying, man. So peace.